But let's talk about the team from Detroit, Michigan, that has a chance to win the NFC this year and how they overcame adversity on Sunday to do so. This is one of those games that you expect the Detroit Lions to step all over themselves because that's the way things have gone for them forever and a day. Barry Sanders, by the way, on tomorrow's program, I should mention.
Hey.
And he and those Lions in 1991 were the last team for this franchise to make the playoffs and win a playoff game. And those teams, as we all know, had a lot of hope and a lot of, big-time players on it. And this team for the Detroit Lions has got a collection of really good to becoming great players for a head coach who introduced himself to the world in the NFL as if he was Hannibal Lecter. And a lot of people took that to mean he wasn't really serious in Dan Campbell. And now here we are, entering Thanksgiving week, and these Detroit Lions, taking on the Chicago Bears yesterday, had a ton of adversity thrown right in their faces because Justin Fields was coming back from injury, and he started to apply the bang thing, as did the Bears defense with Montez Sweat coming up with his first sack as a Chicago Bear, of Jared Goff, who had a nightmarish day with a 3-interception day, and having one of those days where you could just say, oh, chalk it up. Just like what happened to this team in Baltimore. Wasn't their day. Maybe they're just going to have to go back to the drawing board and figure out how to take on a team that is being really physical with them and is in their quarterback's face. And then with 4 minutes to go, down 12, the Detroit Lions mounted a comeback. Amon-Ra St. Brown, who I've been caping for, top 10 receiver in this league. I said it last year. He is that. On a day where his quarterback is not looking very good, this team put its foot in the ground, started moving the football. Jahmyr Gibbs and this kid, Amon-Ra St. Brown.
Sun God.
Getting it done, putting himself in the end zone, over the middle, making himself available, and we saw a dart thrown by Jared Goff. And then the Detroit Lions defense makes some plays, gets the ball back, and the Lions march down the field again. And interestingly enough, hand the ball to the former Chicago Bear, David Montgomery. And he gets in the end zone, and that's a touchdown, and they take the lead. And it's time to play some defense one last time. And their Michigan man, you know I'm going there. Hey, Dan Campbell, I had man love with this guy before you did at the Combine when you first saw number 97 in your program, number 1 in your heart, and a kid who grew up in the state of Michigan and knows about the Roar Restoration Project that everybody there has been waiting for some time. And he called game. Sack, force fumble, ball kicked out of the end zone by the Chicago Bears. And then he takes the ball and punts it into the crowd. And Ford Field's going nuts. And they know. They have 8 wins going into Thanksgiving for the first time since that 1991 season. And they tell the Chicago Bears and their young quarterback, like it's Game of Thrones, not today. Dan Campbell, my choice prior to the season for Coach of the Year, had this to say. What did he tell his defense after the Lions took the lead and the Bears took the field with Justin Fields and a chance to tie the game, if not, go ahead and win it?
You guys kicked it off to them. Did you feel the need to address the defense at all going into that last drive?
Yeah, no, I actually went down there. I said, it just doesn't get any better than this. Like, this is the moment this is what you want to be in right now. Game on the line, you got a chance to make the big stop, man, to win this game. And Hutch goes out there and makes the sack fumble of his life for a safety. I mean, that to me those are the moments, man, we're built for. Like, that's how we have to think. And I mean, that was what it felt like when they took the field. Is You know, this is why you play this game at this level, is for moments just like that. It was awesome.
And I just love this guy and how they're all buying what he's selling right now. And with all due respect to Dan Campbell, the sack forced fumble of Aiden Hutchinson's life was the one that happened against Michigan State that Big Ten referees went under the hood and somehow, some way overturned, even though the evidence was against it. That was, by the way, in the last time Michigan lost a Big Ten game, that was back when Aiden Hutchinson was on the Wolverines. But maybe I'm just
too close
to it. And what it means is tonight, the Lions will be rooting for the Kansas City Chiefs. Because with this win, they're flat out in the mix for the 1 seed, staying a game ahead of the 49ers instead of losing and winding up in a position where they're in a mosh pit with the 49ers and potentially still with the Eagles as well. But they are a step ahead of San Francisco now because of that. And this is the type of win where they feel like we can do it. Doesn't matter. Down 12, 4 minutes to go, we got it. Going to Kansas City in week number 1, beat the Chiefs on a night where they're hoisting a banner. I understand Chris Jones and Travis Kelce weren't there, as they will be tonight against the Philadelphia Eagles. Doesn't matter. You got to beat the teams that are right in front of you. And for them, tonight, if the Philadelphia Eagles lose to the Kansas City Chiefs, they would have the same record as the defending NFC champs going into a Thanksgiving Day game at home against the Packers, who, by the way, shocked the Los Angeles Chargers. And I think will give the Lions a run for their Thanksgiving Day money, certainly since they saw what happened with the Bears. And then the Philadelphia Eagles will wind up having to take on 2 very tough opponents after that, Buffalo and San Francisco at home before they take on Dallas. While the Lions take on Green Bay, New Orleans, and their final outdoor visit of the year at Chicago. Everything else in a dome. Rest of the year for this offense. And that this is to their benefit. If they finish up with the same record as the Philadelphia Eagles, do you know what the tiebreak is first? It's not conference record.
So like strength of victory?
It is not. It is record against common opponents. And tonight, the Eagles could lose to a team that the Lions have beaten.
Oh, wow.
Other games on the docket that the Lions and Eagles share. Minnesota, who the Lions have yet to play. The Eagles beat Minnesota way back when Kirk Cousins was the starter. Philadelphia won at Tampa. So did the Lions. Check that box. The Lions also have as a common opponent, wait for it, the Dallas Cowboys coming up.
Oh, baby.
So, Philadelphia will have, as we all know, 2 games against them. So the Lions will have 2 games against Minnesota as well. Tonight's huge, is basically what I'm saying. Another common opponent, by the way, unfortunately for Dallas, is Seattle. For Detroit is Seattle. Detroit's already lost to Seattle. Philadelphia is going to Seattle week 15. So they'll be rooting for the Seahawks in that one. Tonight could wind up being the difference between the Lions being the 1 seed or not. Flat out. Because of what happened with the Lions yesterday, that is still the case. Even if they had lost, maybe that might still be the case, but less likely. What a W for the Lions yesterday. Catch the Rich Eisen Show every single day on the Roku channel, 12 to 3 Eastern, for free.